that we haven't used before. This is called Restream. Previously, we had been using Ecamm Live to go live. This, we're going to use the Restream, and hopefully it's working. It's supposed to be automatic as well. And, I have to say, we're, just be patient with us because we're right now trying to compete with Donald Trump on dexamethasone. And he's on a bit of a Twitter rampage at the moment. And
he's fired up.
He's fired up. Woohoo! Somebody just did post breaking news. Trump recorded a video inside the White House on Tuesday that could be released later today. Senior officials tell CBS. So I don't know what that might be. It could be some sort of kinky dex porn.
Coney 2012. He's going to be out in the front in the Rose Garden naked, banging his hands on the lawn like this. And it'll be Coney 2012, but it'll be Trump 2020.
Well, I'm going to go to Max Kaiser TV and see. I could see all the comments coming in. So that's good. Apparently we are live. I'm not a boomer. I was going to say I'm a boomer, but I'm not a boomer.
See, you're an Xer.
I'm an Xer. And these things are, it's not my native language to speak in streaming and code and HTML and RSS feed and all this stuff.
Right. No, hey, that's got to appeal to all the people across all the generations and the subgroups and whatnot.
Oh, I see. I did manage to call it Microdose of Orange Pill. That's good. The streaming quality doesn't seem to be as high as, say, the Ecamm Live. That's what I'm thinking when I look at this. What do you think out there? All you people out there on the Telegram group. I'm going to send a link to it, actually, into the Telegram group right now as we speak. And here we go. Orange Pill Podcast. Join us here. Join us here. I know this is fun for you, right? Watching this? Okay. So I also want to say, because I know we have to compete with Donald Trump on dexamethasone, and that's a hard thing to do. So I did go out yesterday and I bought some more tequila. This is just, looks like a pretty generic brand, probably. Pepe Lopez tequila. This is Avion Silver tequila, because of course you need the silver to go with a margarita. And it says Llegada Salida. So I think it's like the whole airport theme. Remember when we could all go to airports?
Nope.
And of course, you've got the Cointreau. So we've got all the ingredients necessary for the next episode of Official Orange Pill, because of course this right here that you're watching is Orange Pill Microdose. And you know what? When I went to the ABC store, which is the sort of stores that are state run here in North Carolina, so if you want to buy hard alcohol, i.e. like tequila or Cointreau, you have to go to these stores called ABC. And I was walking in there to the tequila section. And as I was walking to the tequila section, I passed the whiskey section. And out of the corner of my eye, I saw peanut butter whiskey. And I did a double take because I thought, there's no such thing, right? There can't be such thing as peanut butter whiskey. And then I walked to the tequila section, picked out my 2 bottles of tequila there. And then I went back to look. And sure enough, there was peanut butter whiskey. They had a small bottle and a large bottle, many of them, so you could select from them. And I still didn't believe that I had actually seen it because, times have been strange, Max, right?
Well, it's great for making a peanut butter whiskey and jelly whiskey sandwich.
Well, this is what I found. I was going to say, when I came back, I wasn't quite sure because times are weird. Our president is having some sort of, droid rage, steroid rage, roid rage, I guess they call it, not road rage. And, I thought times are so strange. Maybe I didn't actually see that. That must have been a figment of my imagination. So what I did is I went to Google this morning to look it up. And sure enough, there is peanut butter whiskey, but there is also a thing called peanut butter and jelly old fashioned, peanut butter and jelly whiskey milkshakes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's for people who want to relive their childhood while getting smashed at the same time. They can drink a peanut butter and jelly whiskey tequila highball.
Right. Oh, here, I'll keep on talking. So, let's check out the group. Let's see what people are saying over here. You know, this is a microdose of orange pill. Every Sunday we do a full, like 1.5 to 2 hour episode. This weekend we're going to see Adam back. Last weekend we did Adam Curry. Everybody loved it. It was like a big hit. I think the quality on this is not as good as the other one. I think maybe we'll use that next time, but we'll see. Oh, maybe it's just because I have so many things running because people are saying they see the quality good. Anyway, so this week we have Adam back. If you have any questions for Adam back, just post them in our Telegram group. If you go to Telegram and just search for Orange Pill, where we are Orange Pill, that's our title there. And so yeah, the Orange Pill podcast Telegram group, Max, what do you think of it? It's really soaring, right? Lots of people there.
Right. We're getting thousands of people joining it, and it's becoming the go-to destination for anyone who's into Bitcoin and they want to join the global Bitcoin movement. You know, people have to understand that Bitcoin is a global movement, and I think people get caught up in their regional kind of ways. And people in the United States, for example, don't really necessarily understand what's happening around the world in terms of Bitcoin. So this is a great place to see what other countries are doing in the Bitcoin world. Latin America, Europe, Asia, Mid East, you know, they're all coming together, and you get a sense that this is the first coordinated global hard money revolution.
Right. And that's what we talk about on Orange Pill Podcast, brought to you, of course, by thesunexchange.com/orange pill. We're still waiting for Abe Cambridge to come back for a date for a cocktail party. We're going to have a cocktail party. And you know what? There's so many people from Latin America that we're going to have a tequila-based cocktail party. We're going to apply, you know, we're just going to basically say all of Latin America likes tequila because, you know, that's a good drink that you can say. I guess we'll also allow rum. Okay. Any rum or tequila-based cocktail.
All right, from Jamaica. We have many Jamaicans in that group. You know, we should reach out to our friends in Jamaica.
Jamaica's not really part of Latin America. It is in the Caribbean.
It's another area of the world.
Yeah.
Then they drink rum.
They do.
That's
do.
That's what I'm saying. A place in the world that drinks rum. Not necessarily Latin America, but who would be a rum drinker? So the first what comes to mind to me is Jamaica. They've got that really fascinating Jamaica central bank, and it's run by a woman, I believe, and she puts out a lot of videos on YouTube and does rap tunes about monetary policy. It's good stuff.
That sounds interesting. Of course, in Cuba, they also have rum, and I've noticed a lot of people in our Orange Pill Podcast Telegram group that there are a lot of people from Cuba. So welcome to the show. No entiendo mucho español aquí, pero how do you say aprendare? Yeah, aprendare. I'm going to learn. So we're going to move to Mexico. We would possibly move to Cuba if we were allowed to, but we're Americans, so we're not allowed to. So 321 gold, going there, checking out the gold price. It is $18.85, back down below 1900 on that. And silver is at $23.70 because Max and I still stack gold and silver as well as Bitcoin. I know some people like Safe Dina Moose say silver is a shit coin. What do you think about that, Max?
Well, you know, it's not a bad speculation given the collapse of fiat money, and that will benefit gold. And you know, gold going up usually drags silver along for the ride as a bigger percentage gain in the whole precious metal sector. So it's not without its merit, in my view.
Right. And of course, Bitcoin also is down a little bit today, 1.28% to $10,631. You know, the markets are a bit volatile at the moment all around the world, thanks to having the leader of the free world, as we like to call it here in America. The leader of the free world is faking it until he makes it. Like, that's the whole New York mentality that kind of gets applied to all of America, and he's faking it till he makes it. There's a sense inside of me that the second wave, you know, COVID goes in 3 phases. When the first phase is like when you have those symptoms of a fever, a cough, a sneezing and stuff like that. And then then it goes away. At least it reduces significantly and you feel fine. And then the second phase hits, and that's when the cytokine storm hits and things go horribly wrong. But it seems like, whatever experimental cocktail he ingested, it's very funny because that would be the sort of thing that normally American media would make fun of, like a Banana Republic. Oh, this guy is just taking an untested, vaccine or some sort of pharmaceutical drug. And, here we have the president of the United States of America taking these experimental drugs and testing them out on himself, including this dexamethasone, which is it's been in use for a while, but for other diseases.
Oh, really remarkable. It's just watching like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, playing with experimental drugs. And then he has these, incredible personality pivots from being incredibly aggressive and then to being in a hospital bed. So it's dramatic. And we're heading into this election. And at the moment, it's an hour by hour situation. Trump appears to be in fine health. He's running the country, and of course, he's warming up this whole what's being called Obamagate, which is the revelation now with a high degree of certainty that Hillary and Obama were attempting a domestic coup here in America back in 2016. And this has been building for a while. And so, yeah, why not throw another, variable into the election mix?
Right. People want to know where you get your T-shirts. I guess everybody likes that love T-shirt. So
I have these specially made for me by a staff of seamstress. No, I just find them on Amazon.
Ah.
Yeah,
that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I just do a search on Amazon for Bitcoin T-shirts, and they have all kinds of T-shirts.
Right, we get sent all of our baseball caps. Anytime you see Max in a baseball cap, it's always NVK. Rodolfo Novak over on Twitter, he's a big hat guy. He sends a lot of hats to us. Bacardi factories in San Juan. Somebody says Trump is the orange pill. I like that. I think that's a good point because the orange pill is like a change in mindset. It's not just monetary, it's politically, geopolitically, and culturally and society-wise. And, he has exposed a lot of the stuff. And at this point, it's kind of comical that you see him on having a steroid meltdown on Twitter and all caps crazy stuff, which is kind of interesting. It's just a sign of our times, I think, when we have 70,000 opioid overdoses and all sorts of drug addiction and stuff. I think it's just part of the time, and that part of that time is the end of the fiat era. Remember, in 2021, it's going to be 50 years since we went on an all fiat era, and we have Trump, this like fake it till you make it sort of, Times Square shyster sort of guy, like scamming people for, nickel and diming them. And then you have a guy with, certainly some sort of dementia or a cognitive decline, I guess you could say it politely. And it's kind of like end of Soviet Empire, end of Roman Empire, which you hear about all the crazy madmen that we had running the Roman Empire.
Yeah. Plus, you can't discount the fact that you also have a third entity in this race, and that's the legacy of Obama and Hillary. And Attorney General Barr is really being asked to, come up with the indictments and arrest some people. So the case for that happening is becoming overwhelmingly strong. Even Richard Nixon, who I follow on Twitter, was commenting that this does look bad for Hillary, and he's a guy that would know.
Just to be clear, that's not the real Richard Nixon. At least I don't know. Who knows? They're reanimating all sorts of things, right? Like Whitney Houston, I see her estate is angry that they've reanimated her and they have her in concert.
Right. Those beasts from Stone Age, they're reanimating. The woolly mammoth, apparently. All you need is a little DNA, and you can, Jurassic Park that, whip it up in the lab. And I always thought that the problem is not going to be death. The problem is going to be immortality, because people will be anxious to rest in peace, but the state will insist that everyone is animated for perpetuity because they need the consumers or whatever crazy thing they cooked up. So I think that this is the ultimate dystopian nightmare is immortality. I don't understand why these people like Peter Thiel are seeking immortality. It seems to me like a horrible, sentence of torture for forever.
Well, I don't know. It seems like pretty crazy. If you live forever, then you'd have to stop new people from coming on board, right? Because you can't. It's not like we could have 55 billion people on Earth. Like, what do? Do they just stop people coming on board, or what? Is this like pulling up the drawbridge?
Yeah, I mean, it just opens up a whole bunch of unpleasant scenarios if you have a group of people that are immortal, and I see the Whitney Houston reanimation being kind of a step in that direction, and so we'll have all these old stars being reanimated, and we'll have a generation of people that won't be able to tell the difference between a virtual star and a real star, and Frank Sinatra will be singing "My Way," in person on everyone's desktop and laptop and living room as a hologram for perpetuity. But that's one aspect to it. But then again, it has a kind of a negative undertow as well.
Well, again, keeping with that theme of, the gerontocracy that we have at the end of empire, and that's how we're at the end of empire. Really, the end started, you could say, in 1971 when we went bankrupt. The world clearly also ran out of ideas and they didn't know what to do. So they let us do it, right? But everybody went along with the game. Maybe they were just afraid of violence. I don't know. Plus, it was only 1971. It wasn't that long after the World War II had devastated Europe. It's not like they could really, there wasn't really any choice. But now, I mean, look at all of these people. We have Trump, but he wasn't in a political office, but he was certainly in power in New York, like with the whole bankruptcy of New York at that time. He swooped in and got a lot of properties. But what you see is Nancy Pelosi, Jerry Nadler, Chuck Schumer, Joe Biden, like all these people. And I think it's really tied to this fiat era is that just didn't really exist before, where like every single person in Congress and the Senate is just guaranteed their seats because of incumbency and gerrymandering and all that sort of stuff and lobbyists and blah, blah, blah. They are just in power for decades. Like when I was a little girl, Chris Dodd and Joe Lieberman were the senators for Connecticut. And then when I was an adult coming back here from Europe, they were still senators for Connecticut. And you're just like, this is so creepy and just like, why? It just is such a bad sign. And it also tells you why, like with Bitcoin, why you need this, why you need the game theory, because you can count on people being greedy. You can count on people being scared. You can count on people being afraid of change, and they always will go for royalty. You can look at thousands of years of history. Humans choose royalty and therefore decay, because that's what happens. And so if they're going to, for a fact, they're going, no matter what, if we could keep Nancy Pelosi immortal, she would win election free and fairly, they would say, for the next 500 years. She would be able to do it. So how do you have to stop that, because you can't give the voters that option, because they will choose the familiar.
Well, you had the Revolutionary War in America in the 18th century, and they put together a system of government that was fantastic, and they had term limits and a lot of other great checks and balances. But 240 years later, it's been nipped apart and pecked apart and slowly disintegrating, and it doesn't really operate as it had in one point. And it, there's a need for a revolution, a new revolution. Bitcoin, of course, is a global revolution. It preserves a lot of the ideas of the Enlightenment and these other documents and movements. So I think that's what we have to see. And around the world, I always come back to Nigeria as being the one country that's now leading the world in terms of Bitcoin adoption and embracing Bitcoin and hyper-Bitcoinization. And, they are already well past everybody else. in the world in terms of what Bitcoin means, and so that's an exciting hotspot.
We're actually going to talk to Ali Hammam from Tahini's restaurant up in Ontario, Canada, and he has an interesting story about, basically fleeing inflation and currency seizure and devaluation. So that's going to be a good one to watch on Saturday on Kaiser Report. And let me look at a few more comments, and then, we'll wrap this up, because this is how Microdose was supposed to be. It's supposed to be kind of short, but, there's been a lot to talk about lately. I like this guy, Archie, he's just tweeting in all caps, messaging in all caps, all the stuff Donald Trump keeps saying. So, yes, that sounds like Donald Trump. And yeah, so that's all I have to say. We're gonna, come to you with a full episode of Orange Pill on Saturday, and remember to visit thesunexchange.com/Orange Pill. They're our sponsors, and we're gonna do a big cocktail party with them. And in fact, because we have people from all over the world, we're not gonna make it tequila. We're gonna make it from whatever region you're in, or of course, we have people from Algeria and Morocco, and maybe they might have some different drinks there that aren't alcoholic, so they could have their tea. They do that tea, pouring it from really high. We had some of that when we were in Morocco.
Nice, yeah, that was nice stuff. Yeah, with the coffee in the sand. So interesting.
Oh yeah. And there was some sort of like almond drink that I remember, like an almond milk. It's kind of like almost like the horchata in Mexico, but not quite similar. So yeah, thank you for joining us, and stay orange pilled, right? And don't shitcoin in our Telegram group, because I will smash my hammer down.
Yeah, that's right. Don't do it. You get smashed for sure.
All right. Bye.